And what's up, it's Joe. I'm here in Bangkok, Thailand, and I want to talk about 5 reasons why your conversations are dying a sudden death. Okay? Me and my momentous business partner, Kieran Callum, we set up WhatsApp and Telegram groups for people that are interested in our confidence coaching content. And we've had a few guys ask this question in the last few days, like, why are my conversations dying a sudden death? I don't understand. So I thought I would address that in this video. Okay, the first thing that I wanted to bring up was stolen from a man called Marcus Oki. He works as a charisma coach. He's very good. He said, and I quote, "Whenever you keep your conversation in the present tense, it's seconds away from grinding to a sudden halt. But if you can move it to the past or the future, it will live on endlessly." Okay, and it will, because the past and the future are both endless. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're here in Bangkok, you're looking at some temple, all right, and you want to start a conversation with the person also looking at it. If you keep it in the present tense, you could be like, "Oh, this is a nice temple, isn't it?" And they'll say, yes, it is. And then there's pretty much nowhere to go with that. But if you move it into the past, you could go on forever and ever. You could be like, "Oh, I bet the person who built this temple, he built it to try and impress some woman, and it didn't really work." And you could, because the past is endless, you could go back and back and back. You could be like, "Oh, I bet before that he tried to build a tuk-tuk for her, and that wasn't good enough for her. So he was like, fuck it, I'm going to build a temple just like Noah from The Notebook." And yeah, you could go on and on. Same with the future. You could be like, "Oh, I wonder what it's like to live in a temple. Maybe me and you should move in together in this temple. I bet we'd like it for the first couple of weeks, but then we'd get sick of the bright colours and all the tourists visiting. Then we'd have to leave the temple, find somewhere else." Yeah, you see. So it's a good tip for not running out of things to say. Move it into the past or the future. Okay. Second point I want to bring up is, it's quite hard to put into words, but guarantee you've felt this feeling. And the tip is to try and become more comfortable with the silence. Let's say you're on a date. What is the number one thing that people fear when they're on a first date? It's awkward silences. All right. But who says silences have to be awkward? When you have a moment of silence with your friends or your family or your girlfriend, it's not awkward. You're actually quite comfortable in the silence together, right? And there's no reason why a silence with someone you barely know should be uncomfortable either. That's your choice. I don't really know how to be. If you're confident in your own skin, you can be comfortable in silence. And actually, on a first date, that could be really powerful if you just stop the conversation and just stare at our eyes for 5 seconds. That can be really powerful, okay? So you don't need to worry about that, okay? If you're uncomfortable with the idea of silence with a stranger, you'll give off this like uncomfortable energy where you're just like scrambling to just try and keep the conversation going and for there to be no silence. And the other person is going to feel that energy and they're not going to want to be around it. So no matter how well you're scrambling to keep thinking of things to say, they're going to be put off by this energy you're giving out, and they're going to be like, "Nice to meet you," and they're going to leave. Okay, so just try and work on being more comfortable with silences. And you know what, why not purposely take a few seconds before you say the next thing and see how it feels. Third point, and this is definitely addressed at the guys in the WhatsApp and the Telegram groups, because I'm guessing what they were talking about mostly is when they're going up to some random girl in a bar and a club and trying to start a conversation with them. Okay, so here's a thing that often grinds it to a sudden halt, and it's not what you think. Okay, what these guys are probably really, really good at doing is coming up and being fun, doing good conversation and getting her interested. But what they're probably less good at doing, because it's not as easy, is moving it and making it romantic, like I'm making a move and pushing things forward sort of thing. I guess guys are scared to do this because they're worried it'll ruin the nice chit chat that they're having if they made a move and actually showed their real intentions. What they fail to realise is that a lot of girls, they come into bars and clubs so they can meet a guy who, yes, can do a good conversation with them, but also can take it romantic, drag them to the bar for a drink, get physical and flirty, try and kiss him, try and take him home. A lot of girls, if they're single, that is what they're looking for, all right? So Don't be afraid to show them your true intentions. If you just want a pleasant chit chat, by all means, just do that. But, oh, it looks fun over here. If you're there to hit on them, fucking do that, all right? Make your intentions clear, all right? Because otherwise, if the girl, she's looking for a cool man to get romantic with, and you're just like, oh, and what is your job? How is your dog? Who is your mum? Question, polite, right? They're just gonna be like, okay, this is not what I'm looking for, and the conversation's gonna die a sudden left. Well, it's nice to meet you, bam, they're gone. Fourth point, why a conversation will die a sudden death is because you're not including the rest of their group in the conversation. Let's say you're out, you're talking to a girl, she's got a friend there who you're completely ignoring, all right? No matter how much the girl likes you, her friend is gonna feel uncomfortable, she's gonna feel left out, okay? She's gonna do these silent girl signals that they do to each other, saying, fuck this guy, I don't feel comfortable, and whoever you're talking to is gonna pick up on that straight away, because these girls are smart, and it's gonna be, okay, she's always gonna side with her friend no matter how cool and interesting you are, and she's gonna be like, nice to meet you, we have to go. So what you have to do is you need to engage the whole group, so whoever they're with aren't bored either, okay, while paying the most attention to the person you actually want to speak to, okay? This is so important, do not ignore this tip, okay? And the final tip is that maybe you're just not as engaging and interesting speaker as you think you are, all right? And the conversation isn't dying a sudden death, it's actually dying a slow, boring, dull death. And then eventually the person just like finds the opportunity to say, oh, goodbye. All right? Me and Kieran, we made a video all about how to speak in a way that makes people want to fucking listen. All right? It was part of our digital course, 4 weeks to Unstoppable Confidence, but we released this one for free on YouTube. So I'll leave a link to that for you guys. It has everything that we kind of know about being a charismatic speaker that people just can't help but listen to, all right? So take a look at that video. Okay, that's the 5 tips. Couple more bits. Oh, it's raining. Let's find a good background. A couple more bits that I wanted to mention. If you're too afraid to even bloody start conversations with people you don't know, I've got a free ebook. It's called How to Conquer Social Anxiety. I'll leave a link to that as well, and read that. It will really, really help you. It's very short. Give that a download. And also, if you're watching this video outside of Instagram, I would like you to know that I do rants like this, all about building self-confidence and self-esteem all the time on my IGTV channel. So check that out. I'm at Joe Alvin, Joeelvin. Other than that, as the rain starts pouring down, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll speak to you real soon.